Alrighty. So I think we're all good. All right. Look who it is. Ah, Fresh Cup of Joel. Fresh Cup of Joel. Do you have multiple accounts, or is your full name Fresh Cup of Joel 3000? A chili dog in the flesh. So epic, yeah. Alright, hold on one moment. I gotta spin this. It's gonna be kind of weird. I don't have my head camera on today, and I don't have my little monitor that was next to me, so it's gonna be hard for me to respond to everybody's chat messages. So I probably will not be responding as much. Last name is 3000, yeah. All right. All right. You guys ready? We'll do this one as wheel, apple, good morning, chili dogs. What you focus on grows. Feed them horses. Back again, 3 more pots. No head camera, we got the microphone on the chest, and I think I got the audio stuff figured out. So let's see how it cruises today. I think it'll be a little bit better. But yeah, and my little monitor right next to my wheel, that's upstairs right now, so I won't be able to communicate as easily this time. But anyway, green off. Dude, right on the money. Right on the money. Turn that off. Okay. All right. Here we go. Push, 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 push. All right. Speed this up a little bit. Get that left hand forward. Bring that up. I let this clay sit out for a little bit longer today, just so, or after yesterday's stream, this is some reclaimed clay. So I let it sit out to get a little bit harder, but I think it's at like the perfect consistency, where yesterday the first pot, it was like a little bit too hard. And so this time I think we're right on the money with the hardness, you know? So you bring this up, run that off. One more time, right at the bottom. The key is we're just going to tilt this top over a little bit, start pushing down. Whenever you see that wobble, you catch that wobble, right? You're probably going to start feeling some areas where it wants to tear and rip. Just slow down and use your fingers to sort of claw and scrape at where it wants that clay to tear. You almost feel it, it's like it's twisting rather than stretching, right? I think it's like think of a twisty tie. The more you twist it, it creates a circle, but it's increasing the way that those little twisty ties spin. Does that really even make sense? I'm trying to think of another way that would make more sense. It's just, you're gonna feel, it's almost like stretch marks on the clay or the vessel. Hello, Rad. You're gonna feel those, and you just don't want those to get exaggerated the more tension you put down. So I kind of use my fingers as like a claw tool to scrape through those little stretch marks of the clay there, right? But again, I'm gonna take my hammer fist, I'm gonna project this down. I'm slowly gonna walk this down, and I'm gonna slowly walk this back. And I'm down, and back. Alrighty. Thumbs in the middle here. I'm gonna open this up. Some more on the inside. There you go. Some more right there. I'm gonna smooth out this bottom base. There we go. Rounding this off. Somebody commented something, 1 second. Did their throw-thon yesterday, 100 pots on the kick wheel. It was awesome. Dang. I totally missed it then. That's pretty exciting. I'm sure I'll see some clips from it on the shorts or on the YouTube. That sort of stuff is awesome. I love doing those sort of things. A while ago I did something where also the llama's biting on that rim, slowly bringing that top in to create that volcano. But I did something a while ago, kind of not similar, but I was just trying to see how many in 24 hours that I could throw and trim, and so it was kind of a exciting little project. But I always like those things. One day I'll have to do something online, like a stream about it. But I think a lot of my camera stuff wouldn't last that long. It would probably overheat or something. Camera B. Oh guys, do you guys see how responsive it is today? I think we got it figured out. There's some weird thing going on. Do it again. I'm right at the bottom. I'm going to take that base. I'm going to slowly shut in. You can see I have a little line here, so I'm going to kind of smooth over that line. Okay. Probably got one more pull, so we're going to collar this in. Round that top off. Right down to the bottom. Here we go. A little bit more water. Right down at the bottom here. Finger on the outside, right out here. Hold that there just a little bit, right? Finger on the inside, projecting itself right above that exterior finger. And now I have this bump. I don't let go of the bump. I'm just slowly walking this up. I'm going to hit a thin spot, so I'm going to kind of chill out here in a second. Hopefully you can see a little bit wobbly. I'm going to finish off that pole. It's a little bit thin on the bottom. I can sense it wanting to rip there. But, so there we go. We got a lot of leftover clay on this bottom edge, so that's something we're going to have to deal with in a little bit. Either some lawn tendrils or, you know, something cruising there. Okay. A little bit of water. I'm going to start twisting this up. Take my finger on the outside, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kind of messed up that last one. see it totally ripping up here. I collapsed right on that bottom base too, but we're just going to slowly keep this cruising. We have one twist that's a little bit off, so you can kind of see where that's at, but we're just going to slowly feed that up. There we go. And so now, when I bring this twist down here, see it wants to just kind of twist up. I'm going to be right on this top. Down this bottom, pushing down a little bit. And so we got to be careful because it collapsed totally on the bottom, so I don't want to kind of squish or squeeze that clay down there, so I'm going to leave it kind of still. But I'm going to probably give this tree a nice buffer and smooth out that little spot. You see it's like a little ramp almost. Some people are saying some stuff. I'll stop for a second. Oh dang, so a lot of people were there. Dang, I feel so bad now. Go. The water right underneath this edge here. Pop up this little skirt. There we go. Get some of the water out of here because in this little cavern here, I'm scared that there's going to be a little bit too much water and I don't want it to, what's the word? Start water fissuring. So I'm going to bring this out and you can see how I'm giving it a buffer this time. And so this will be kind of fun for me personally. I'm going to go up. There we go. Almost really making it look like a plate here. Round this off. You can see it has this plate look. And we're going to just slowly very gently hitting that edge there. I think that looks pretty nice. Now we're not going to mess with it any longer. So that's number one. So this is kind of like a tree on a plate. This kind of looks funny. I should run my knife tool underneath it though. I'm bringing it down, but I just want to make sure I run that knife tool underneath there because if you don't, it's going to be hard to get that off. But hopefully it doesn't totally make it want to collapse and fall. If it does, that's okay. Here we go. Next spot. Camera A. Wedging table. Oh, guys, look how responsive it is today. We got a couple more people, so I'm going to see what's going on over here. Somebody said, how are you? Oh, you guys are talking. That's so cool that you guys are starting to recognize each other, too, in the chat. Hi, everyone. It's pretty. Looks like a goblet that overpowered demon spawn would drink out of. Maybe hold some blood inside. We're not all just trees. Are we not all just trees on a plate? So funny. Hi guys. Reminds me of the FIFA World Cup trophy. I don't really watch any of the football or soccer, whatever you call it, you know, thing. I used to think soccer, like when I was younger, was really lame. And then I think sometime in high school I started seeing like edits of like some of the like famous like soccer players online. I was like, dang, wow, this is a pretty big sport. And then I saw some videos of the World Cup. Is that what it is? And that was crazy. I was like, oh, like it's insane. The rest of the whole entire world follows this sport. Here I'm pushing this forward and up. I'm gonna swap over to wheel. Right down at the bottom. I'm gonna be lifting this up. Take a breath. There we go. Some more water right on the bottom. Again, I push this forward. I'm gonna slowly take this up. And we're gonna bring that up. And we're slowly gonna start bringing this top down. Wherever that wobble is, catch that wobble, and we're slowly gonna walk that up to that left hand. It's almost like we're feeding the left hand all this food. Our left hand is Pac-Man, and our right hand is like shoveling the fruits to Pac-Man. Right, and the fruits are the wobbles. I'm slowly gonna bring this down. I'm gonna swap my hands over. My hammer fist is gonna come right on top. And I'm slowly gonna be pulling that right hand back towards the base of where that left hand is touching, always on that left side, right? That's how I get it really nice and centered. I always think of it as like a little hockey puck, right? All right, give me one moment. After I get this centered, I can look at the chat quick. All right. Eric Satire. I'll have to look him up. I watch soccer through maybe appreciate the sport smart. Yeah, I feel like I saw this one where I think it was in Brazil, right? They had a bunch of these little horns that you could buy, and then the whole entire stadium was playing these horns. Just crazy. Just because I was thinking about how I can make like musical instruments, you know how I make a lot of those like ceramic whistles and stuff. And so I was like, we gotta start making like some horns. Right, again, I'm smoothing out that base so you can kind of see inside there what I'm doing. Go right to that corner. Nice. Okay, round this off. And you see I have a little stair step here. I just want to get one nice donut ring before I start bringing this up. Okay. And smoothing out this base. A little bit less than 1/8 of an inch because I'm trying to get as much of that clay up into this corner, this wall, so I can maximize my height. And I don't wire these off, so I don't have to worry about going through. Okay, here we go. Camera B. Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Llama here. Want to bite down on this rim and create our next volcano. Let's get into it. Dip. Llama's going to be pulling back. That left hand's pushing forward. And bringing that in to get our volcano. Once you get the volcano, you're in a good spot to start making your cylinder. You're going to slowly take this base. You can see the base of the pot here. And you're just going to walk that in slowly until you can feel the clay on the interior of the hand kind of touch that interior finger, right? Then you can just slowly bring this up, right? Because your first goal is really only about getting that clay equalized. We don't really need to do anything other than that. I think a lot of times people try way too quickly, right, to get height. You want to kind of pause with height, and you want to make sure it's equalized. Think of when you're trying to get height, you need those walls as equal as possible. You don't want to confuse your hands, right? If you need to change the pressure as you're going up quite a bit, right, to account for thickness and thinness, that's another thing that you have to keep on your mental CPU as you're doing the pull. So try to lessen the load on your mind by creating those equal walls. And sometimes you got to go a little bit slow and give it a couple more rotations in that area. Think of, when you're trying to stress the clay out quite a bit, allow it to print that layer, right? Because each one of these is one layer. Allow it to print it twice or 3 times before you move up to the next layer, right? So we're going to call this in. I feel like I'm ascending to the heavens. A little bit of water right on the top. Alright, so this is probably where we'll do one height pull. So I'll walk you guys through this here. So our fingers right on the outside, pushing in just a tad. The finger on the inside is slowly drifting up above. There you go. Now you have this bump, right? And so you're just going to walk this bump up. I'm a little bit thin on that bottom, so you can see a slight wobble starting to grow. But I'm going to continue to carry this up. I'm maintaining that bump, really focusing on allowing those layers to print. When I get to the top, I'm actually going to go out a little bit wider towards the top. Why? Because I'm following that centrifugal force, so it's less tension on that top rim, and we're making the tree anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we want to bring that out, right? So there you go. You can see how we almost maybe got 1 more third of height from that pole, maybe. And then before I go down, I'm going to look at the chat again. All right. Ripples in the clay are so memorized, so satisfying. So do you ever have to plan with your throwing, or do you just go with the flow? I just kind of go with the flow. I always think throwing is all about reacting to what the clay is telling you, right? And so as you have your hands on the clay, it's going to tell you what the limits of it are almost, right? And so how are you going to respond? How are you going to react to that? I think some people think of a form and they're always trying to get that specific form, where if you listen more to what the clay's allowing you to do, I think your objects will end up turning out a little bit better, right? Because, like, for example, I'm so thin on this top, I couldn't collar this top back in really narrow without it wanting to probably buckle, right? I'm a little bit thin on this bottom, so I can't really do a lot I couldn't make this a really wide belly, or else it's just going to tear because the walls are way too thin, right? And so it's just kind of learning what the clay allows you, right? Think of your hands like little data cables, and they're sending you information. I kind of ripped right through that one. Oh my gosh. Well, how are we going to react to this one? I think we're going to react to this one by cutting it off. You guys can see what happened though. I went way too thin. That's so funny right after I was done talking about all that. But you can see on this base, right, once it collapsed, how thin those walls were. Just couldn't support all the clay that's on the top, right? I don't know if you guys can really even see, but just a little bit too thin. All right. Well, we reacted to this one by destroying it. All right, I'm going to be a little bit quicker because I need to catch up now. And so I just went too far in too quickly. So here we go. Very quickly. I'm going to get us back to that, and I have to wedge one more chunk. Then project that forward. Slowly walk this up. And go down. Hammer fist over top. And you bring this slowly back to your hand. You can get it right on center there. Nice. Open this up. Okay. Have your finger on the inside there. Open the clay up. Again, cutting through that clay, opening up that wall. Here I am, grabbing the llama, creating that volcano. right? And so you can see, instead of like waiting in between each step, you can do them almost like combo moves in a video game, right? So we won't go as thin this time. Get a little bit more structure. Again, right down at the bottom edge here, push down. One. We got one more pole that we can do here. Okay, a little bit more water. Push down to the base just a tad more. Okay. Take a breath. Get to the top edge. Alright, so we're quickly back to where we were a second ago. Again, get some of that water out. We're not going to go in as much on this base, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, down to the top. This out. It's probably a limit I can bring it before it's going to want to collapse. Kiss that rim. Look at that, guys. Push down. So, expediency and confidence in your poles can really help you out if your wheel is moving consistently, right? So, sometimes if I go too slow, my wheel kind of starts stuttering and it throws off my rhythm, right? But if you speed it up just a little bit and you can make sure that your wheel isn't stuttering at all, as long as you have confidence in your ability to keep the rhythm, then you can really get some really nice on-centered vessels, right? Right there. And some nice patterns. I think usually, since my wheel started stuttering, I can't work as slow as I was, so maybe I should just start speeding it up a little bit. But I also think the slow moments are nice to like look at, right? So you kind of see when I slow this down for the tendrils here. Nice, okay, that's one. So I'm going to pull this up, curl, 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 curl. Done. Go to the next one here, lift this up, probably right from the bottom here, and twist this one up, twist this one up. After each twist, you really want to make sure that you're bending and planting tendril onto the vessel. And the clay is so wet that it's probably just going to want to stick naturally if you let it. Right down to the bottom. Nice. Okay. So that was kind of a quick one. But again, I can go even quicker than that. I think my limit for these sort of vessels, I timed myself before, it was like four minutes. If I really cruise. But we have this like, chunk of clay that's not centered there now. So camera A. Camera A. How did you clean the windjammer of your mic? All right, so how I figured out the mic was that, oh, you're talking about the little, I just soak it in water and then I put it back on. But I thought you were talking about the AI stuff for a second. I looked at it and there was like one setting where it kept using a different audio thing. I thought I fixed it, but it was actually wrong. But now it's kind of back into the normal state. So we got this clay here. Maybe we'll do it like this much, maybe. It's probably a little bit smaller, huh? That's so sad. And I gotta wedge it right on the ground here, so you guys are kind of just gonna see my head wedging down here. And why am I wedging on the ground? Because I don't want to shake my wedging table and tip over one of those pots. This one's gonna be a lot smaller, so you guys are gonna see that here in a second. So small tree. Alright, let's get some of this clay out of here. Some new water. Okay. Yeah, the only thing that I do to clean this, like I said, I just soak it under water. Not the mic, I just take the little wind thing off. If you don't clean it every once in a while, what I noticed that even moving around, little dust comes off and is right in front of my mouth, and I was like, oh no, silicosis incoming. But, yeah. Alright, here we go. So this is a small tree, so you guys will see a lot smaller. This is probably like maybe 2 pounds, maybe less than 2 pounds. So you can see it's a lot smaller. Camera B, a bit more water, you can bring this up. I'll show you how this bend kind of works here too, right? So it's as if I bend it over to the side. You see how it wants to come down? And so you can normally not really tell because I'm bending it forward, but from the side, that's kind of what it looks like. And so why does that help the clay move? Because there's no clay underneath of it, right? And so it's really easy to just bend that over and twist it, right? And that's what I'm doing, but you guys might not be able to tell just because I'm pushing that forward. My thumbs, one thumb on the inside, maybe I'll hook this. And so I have my 2 fingers on the inside and then one thumb right next to the fingers. And so it's really about how do you keep those 2 fingers on the inside there, not to be taken away by centrifugal force. And that's usually what I think gets a lot of people off center when they make their hole on the inside of their vessel here. Now I'm going to use my fingertip to cut through that clay. I'm going to wedge that out. Probably don't need to go any more than that. Smooth out that base, get that corner nice and established, and then we're going to swap over. Well, I guess we'll just... Hey guys, it's me, Mr. Llama, camping out in the pot. We're going to get ready to make a volcano. See you guys in a second. Llama bites right on that rim. And you're slowly going to make your little volcano here. There we go. Right down to the bottom, a little bit of water underneath. Remember, what's our first step? Get those walls equalized. You don't need to go too fast. A decent speed is okay, right? There's 2 factors usually happening, right? Which is the spinning of the wheel and how fast you're raising your fingers up, right? And so you can really spin the wheel at any speed. I would say slower is nicer because then you can really feel how fast you need to move your fingers up to match that rotation speed, right? Okay, and we're going to call this up one more time. And you're like, what? You can't fit your hand in here. Well, you know, you don't really care about that. You just open that up. And you can see, you sort of kick that top off just a tad. But we're not too worried about it because we're going to be fixing any of that. Here, I'm going to get some of that water out of. We're going to be fixing that through our next pull. So I don't really care if I knock that top off. And so I always see like people are scared to like have the rest of their hand hit, but then when they're pushing, they always will end up using their pointer fingers dragging against this, right? Hook those fingers out, right? Don't keep them flat like this. Hook them. Okay, so here we go. Right down at the bottom, pushing in ever so slightly. Again, I'm going to dish out those fingers. Slowly walking up. Just a little bump. There you go. Nice job, guys. And so you can see how much shorter it is, right? But here we go. A little bit of water right off that top edge. I have one side that's a little bit longer than the others. That's okay. I just want to make sure I end off these twists in a good enough spot. So now I can hold this top, create the hook. I'm slowly causing that inside to twist up. Alright, so I'm going to chill out here for a second. I kind of like the way that these look, right? But I want to open this up just a tad. So how am I going to do that? I have a little bit of water. I'm going to have my two fingers splaying out across the top of that vessel as my exterior fingers are going to push right underneath to sort of flare out that top edge. And so when it's really nice on center like that, you can open that up pretty easily. It's when it's off-centered, it's opening it up, you kind of have to like hold it with the two hands on the exterior, but if you can, you'd like to avoid that. Always having one hand on the inside, one hand on the exterior is, in my opinion, the way to go unless you're collaring something, right? There you go. Finger underneath. Bring this up. You know what we will do? Some tendrils. Nice. Okay. So got a little Beyblade on the bottom here. Curl these up. And curl this over. And curl this one up. And curl this one over. And then we're going to curl this one up. I'm going to curl this one over. And we're uneven, so we're just going to have one straggler just by his lonesome. So maybe on this one, we're just going to hold this, and then we're going to just wedge this down to make it look a little bit different than the rest of it. And then we're going to curl this one open, then up, then open. Whoop. Back on there. Come on. And up, and open, and up, and open. So it's a nice little grass and foliage at the bottom of the tree here. Being loose with it, you know, you really want to sell it as that tree, right? Get a little bit of water. Camera A. Here we go. One. Double tendril. Next. Here we go. We're gonna have our last one on the top, right here. That's not too bad. Alright guys, I think we're cruising. How's this look on the camera here? Yeah, I think these are cool. Alright. Somebody asked, what happens to all the pottery you made for galleries? Do you still have them? I don't really do any of that stuff. I don't do the gallery stuff. Imagine you have... Oh, but you're talking about... Because you saw some of my videos. Yeah, I've done galleries, but I don't do them anymore. Like, that's not my vibe thing right now. Maybe one day. I think people just, like, make stuff and they just try to throw it in galleries as soon as possible. I kind of like to make sure what I put in is cool. I imagine you have duality of being absolutely chill and careful here, but you can also shred on a drum. Am I wrong? I don't know. It kind of depends. Not maybe musical instruments, but like lyrically, like I like to do like some rapping sometimes. But I don't know if I'd shred really. Maybe one day I'll make a pottery rap. I really like the first one. Yeah, actually one of those little tendrils fell, so, but that's whatever. I'm in your head when you throw now? Great. Dropping to say hi, love your stuff. Much love from the South, man. Ah, thank you, Dallas. All right, here we go, guys. Send me some energy, and we're going to talk about the pots. And then after that, I'm heading off. All right. Apple. Hello, guys. It's me. We're here, and we're going to be talking about the pots. All right, so I think first off, we'll start off with this one. I don't know, this one to me, I think it might be the winner, even though I have one little tendril that fell right there. I think that personally, when I look at this one, there's something that's really nice about how there's the tendrils on the bottom, a little bit of a buffer that slowly leads up to a nice drastic twist. The top, the little kind of shadows you can see like right in this area. Those shadows to me are like almost pristine, right? Almost looks like little teardrops, right? Or little glass beads hanging out underneath, right? And then it slowly opens up to the top. I think I couldn't get a better twist if I wanted to on something like this. So I'm pretty excited about this one personally. I think that the bottom tendrils aren't really that crazy though. So that's the only thing that I'd knock it off a few points from. All right, then we got this one over here, right? And so if I'm looking at this one, I think that this one probably has the second best twist of today. It's really, really uniform, that twist. I think the top is kind of nice. I just think that the tendrils on the side aren't really following. They're not adding to the gesture of the vessel, right? Usually when you do tendrils, I like to have the tree tipping so that I can have the hands over here so it plays with the gesture of the pot, where I don't even think there's a gesture of the pot here, right? And so that's something interesting to think about is when you have things that lean, what does it allow you to do? It allows you to bring some more of that sculptural, gestural quality to the objects with tendrils, right? And so, but that's all I got to say about this one. And then I got the one on the top here. The one on the top, it's the first one we did today. We had a lot of clay left over on the bottom, so I made a huge buffer. And it's almost like a plate form, right? And I plucked at it and I got a really, really thin, I think on the other side it's starting to dip down a little bit too much, but we'll see how it goes with it, right? But I always like to see like something with a really wide base, right? I always imagine I can place like some little dudes like right on here. I've been making a lot of those thrown chess pieces and more chess pieces recently for some of my classes. And so it's been kind of interesting to teach people and see how people approach chess pieces in general, right? I can imagine I have like these little like a horse or a knight and stuff just hanging out right on the edge there of the tree. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. All the best and strong mentality. Alrighty. People sending me ka-chow, some energy. Oh, I love it. They say I agree. The first one is so majestic. Interesting. That's volcano. There we go. Golden Fruit Gamer. The voice activation was on point today. I know. You don't understand how much, like, before I started streaming today, I was like, I gotta figure that out. So I spent some time and I figured it out. So I was pretty excited about that. But anyway, guys, computer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out.